Hey everybody, I am Blind Ryan and this is day 5 of Disco Elysium. And I actually remember where we are, amazingly. We are going to talk to Classy. Now before we get started here... Good. Alright, and then after that I'm probably going to play WoW, and then after that I'm probably going to go for my walk. Oh. Alright, here we are. Talking to Classy.
Welcome to the roof.
Wait. I noticed something I didn't notice before. And I need to make sure that I don't fuck it up. Fucking lungs. Bunch of crap stuck in there. But yeah, see? Kim wants to talk.
Officer, what was that?
What was what? You look strange when you mention the assault victim's name. Do you know the woman? Yes. Is there something I should know before we talk to her? Whatever you do, don't say the first thing. I met her in the hallway after I woke up. Understood, you were not in a good shape Monday. She knows I don't remember being a cop. Okay, that's manageable. I tried to hit on her. Understood. Better not. It went pretty okay, I guess. It doesn't matter how it went, officer. Nothing, let's move on. It will be alright, this is nothing. You feel fortified by his assurance, it's going to be alright. Is it though? Nothing? You're still in for a bumpy ride here. Try not to mess up.
Welcome to the roof.
The young woman has a cigarette and a cup of coffee. Below her silvery jumpsuit, an athletic young body, built long and lean.
I'm sorry for the mess down there. The cleaning lady hasn't come by in days. I'm beginning to wonder if she ever will.
Is there a cleaning lady? I think I need one.
Oh yes, legends of room number 1 have made their way around the building. They say a portal to hell is opened in there.
Disco Infernum. There are vortices of dark energy present, but not to hell. To another place. A third place, much different from our world.
A third place? Interesting. That's probably why the cleaning lady quit.
I'm Kim Kitsuragi. I'm a detective from Precinct 57. I believe you have already met my colleague from Precinct 41.
Have I ever? Have you grown accustomed to your role as a police officer?
Once a cop, always a cop.
Like riding a capo-cycle.
Miss, we are investigating the murder of the man who was hanged. The people responsible have asked us to talk to you.
Ah, I see.
Be careful, ask something else first. When you go there, use words like, I hear you've been through something difficult. What is your name, miss, for the record? And where are you from? What is orange? A bad memory, officer. A bad memory of what? Of lilacs and lightning. She squints her eyes as if to see them in the distance. Parks, glass, duraluminum. Redford is a conference city. It's always autumn there and night. At least it was for me. What's so bad about that? Nothing if you're no longer there. How old are you? I'm 28. What do you do, miss? What is your specialization? Something stupid. What's that? Orange's Lit. Orange's Literature. It's what I study at the university. What is Orange's Literature about? Fear of failure, fear of death, how it sucks to be Orange's. All national literatures are. Only the name of the nation changes. That's true. If that's true, then Ravishalian Lit would fit you like a glove. Orange's Lit. What do you do with it? Nothing. I do nothing with it. How do you make money then? Money is very important. Show her some money. Cool. She looks at the black note in your hand. I've made more money by just being than I have with Orangey Lit. Being what? Many things. A roller skating instructor, a secretary, Miss Orangey 37. It's the world's most tired smile. Of course you want a beauty pageant. She's very symmetrical. Can we take a look at your passport, please? I'm afraid you can't, officer. Why is that? Because it's buried in a steel plastic bag at an undisclosed location on the coast along with cash and airline tickets. Thank you for your candor. Why? They say so in your tourist brochure. Keep travel documents away from your person when west of the river. Okay, then. Okie doke. Thank you, that's it for the record. The record, so official. Nice room you got here. Yeah, it's pretty. Deluxe. No one likes to talk about their dirty laundry and their empty bottles, maybe if you phrase it emotionally. I hate to say it, but you've got sat all over this place. Yeah, I've contaminated it pretty bad. Is that why you're out here? The contamination spreads from room to room. First I escaped upstairs. The sad got that too. Then I found the handle for the summer door. What exactly is the nature of this contamination? For me, it's a mix of me with a lack of cleaning services. How about you? Talk around the establishment as you have an industrial sad spill in there. Somewhat below military grade sad is dipping off the wall. As you say the first thing. It's honest. It will lead to introspection. Something is bad in my head in the past. That's where it always comes from, isn't it? From the head and from the past. It's a feeling, white and filled with doom. Gaseous, invisible, deadly. It's everywhere. Sounds like an advanced form of what I got, with a bit of old love sprinkled in on top. Probably, yeah. Love is terror. She breathes in a large billow of menthol-infused smoke, savors it, and lets it out slowly. Goodness. What are you doing here in the whirling in rags? I'm wintering. How long have you been staying here? About 4 months. I came in November. Why here? Here in the whirling, here in Martinet, or here in Ravishell? Here in the whirling. Because it's the funkiest building in Martinet, and because the other buildings are bombed to hell. You have quite the collection of prescription drugs down there. Thank you. I put a lot of time and effort into it. Technically, possession of narcotics is legal in Ravishell, but you should still reprimand her. No, don't listen to that stiff. Be cool. It was quite impressive. How did you amass such a hoard? With money, sir. It's not exactly an anesthetic-sized caboodle I intended for one day, but it's getting there. You seem to have, among other things, Preptide. Oh yes, one of my favorite. It cures many ailments. Like what? Like not being able to stay up for 36 hours. Not being happy. It cures those ailments. It's a mirrored speed molecule, basically. Damn these lungs. Now, the collection includes Nacra, an opioid antagonist. Comes in handy when you've done too many opioids. Is that something that's happened to you often, miss? Better safe than sorry, she takes a dragon smile. As far as that go. Very funky. Where does that door lead to? You tell me. I've been trying to open it, in case the contamination goes to the roof and I have to move on. No luck. I have other questions for you. I notice your room is close to mine. We have a personal question. Yes, you're just one room away. Very personal. Good, yes, this means she could have heard something, like what you were doing before you blacked out. Were you in Sunday night? I need to know what I did before I lost my memory. Ask Clyathy about Sunday night. You do not need to know that. The lieutenant taps his notebook. What you need to is ask normal police questions. Get a grip. He thinks at least do your personal stuff when I'm not here. They tell me you've been through something difficult. Something difficult? I've been through at least half a dozen difficult things. What do you mean? Fuck it. Have you been raped? It's a bit early in the morning for raped. She sounds positively buoyant, vivacious, totally unbothered. Actually, it's already afternoon. Is it? She squints to take a look around. The spring is high. The spring sun is high in the sky. People pass below. It is afternoon. Time flies, man. So were you? Yeah, I'm gonna go with not raped. I don't want to say that shit about him. By him, she must mean the victim. Tell them it's not my style. They'll have to, you know, if they want to jazz up the charges, they'll have to get something more. They'll have to get someone more rapeable. By they mean she means the Hardy Boys. Are you saying that you were asked to tell us you were assaulted? Not explicitly, but I understood what they meant. It wouldn't have hurt to spice things up a bit. Some assault and battery, sexual assault maybe. It was clear the latter would be spicier. Titus asked you to spice things up for us? Pretty much. What did happen between you and the victim? We partied. Wait, what kind of partying? Point to your bloated face. The kind I do? Wait, partied. Where have I heard that before? A lot of partying going on. From Titus, about her and Titus's relationship. That's where you heard it. What kind of partying? Like the kind I do? With all due respect, sir, I think we partied a little hardier than that. Harder than this? I didn't know it was physically possible. Oh, it is. You're still alive. What did you do when you partied? We drank, sir. A lot, for weeks. We had that effect on each other. We made each other drink harder. That's why I liked him. What else? Stimulant. Speed also has that effect, making you drink harder, and drinking harder makes you do more speed. It's quite the combination. We also had sex. You were lovers? I guess you can say that a bit, yeah. Lovers is such an emotional word, but there was something there. We did enough drugs for there to be. How did you two meet? Downstairs. At the bar, he was on some sort of assignment. A military man, as you could probably know, had a cool, scary scar. She appears aloof, but that the scary part is stressed and drawn out. What's that about? Apprehension? With longing, she misses him. When was this? A month ago? Something like that. See, I'm betting if she was raped, it was part of their fucking sex. I'll bet she's one of them ones who really likes to be taken control of. So I guess I'll get this fucker out of the way. I'm 89% sure. Does that mean you're 11% not sure? You know how it is. Do I? Maybe you don't. In conclusion, officer, I'm going to go mild to medium, not raped here. Lieutenant, I don't know what to say about this. I'm sorry, miss, we need a definite statement. Let me make this 100% clear, officers. I was not sexually assaulted. Would I be this flippant if I had been? It must be hard for you seeing him there all the time. Oh yes, I have multiple viewpoints from the roof, out of the bathroom window, in my dreams. You called us, the RCM, yes. Jackpot! The call reporting the hanging, that was you? I made it, and I would appreciate it if you didn't tell everyone. In Martinet, they call it snitching. Reporting crimes is confidential in Ravishal, miss. Before we go on, if it's snitching, then why did you do it? Because I couldn't handle it anymore. None of these people called. He just kept hanging him, and then they started stripping him. The caller's voice was disguised. I didn't exactly disguise it. I just muffled the mic and nicked the landline a little. And nicked it how? With nail clippers, and I diverted some radio fuzz into it, into the cold wire. You were right to suspect there might be foul play involved with the broken phone line. And in the process, you broke the landline downstairs. Did I? Fuck, I didn't mean to. I had no idea what I was doing. Jigsaw fallen into place. This is a good catch. I appreciate the symmetry. Why go through all the trouble? I don't know, sir. It was stupid. I was drunk, too. I was probably afraid the Union was listening in. Locals say they have ears in the wires. Thank you for making the call. It was the right thing to do. I didn't want to, sir, and he's still hanging there. We will move the body to the morgue today, miss. Don't worry. What can you tell me about him? Eyes, name, age, blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry, I can't do it. Not right now. Maybe later. Maybe I keep seeing him like he is now. I can't talk about him. I don't know. Hair? I know it's difficult. We can return to it later. She meant that she sees him in her dreams. I've also seen him in a dream. You have? Not like I do, I imagine. I see him as me. She fishes a cigarette out of her pack and lights it and then looks at you with lungs full of smoke. I can see the similarity, yes. Funny. Funny how? Nothing. He nods through yours. I also saw him. We had a long inspection and that sort of thing. Sticks with you. Let's move on. What did they hang him for if not rape? He had something to do with the strike. One has been rolling since I got here. Rotten timing, but you probably know all about it. And his role in the strike was what? I think he was a security detail. He was ex-military, worked for Wild Pines and against the Union. We didn't discuss work much, if you know what I mean, but I understood it was dangerous. And they lynched him for it? She nods. How do the Hardy Boys know you? They're frequent guests downstairs. They have a booth for Union members. They're probably down there now. And how did you meet? Over drinks, it's been a long, boring winter. Did you party? A little, yeah. Like you partied with the deceased? No, not as hard. I'm sorry to have to ask you this, but have you had a physical relationship with any of the Hardy Boys? I have. Which one? Which one, sir? I don't remember precisely. Titus, obviously, but as I said, it's been a long winter. Could that have been part of the reason they hung him? Could that have been when they lynched him? Jealousy? I hope not. Actually, I know that's not the reason. I'm careful about that kind of thing. Not crossing the wires, you know, but that's probably where they got the rape idea. What do you mean? Men like that, I don't know. It's the way their imaginations work. I suspect it's what they'd like to do to me. Thank you for telling us all this. She breathes a silvery sigh of relief and weariness. The air on the roof feels humid. We should get back downstairs. We may have things to discuss there. Let's go. Hey, that went way easier than I thought it would. I don't think that's how it works.
Looks like we have more to discuss with those so-called Hardy Boys. Half their reasoning just went out the window.
You think this will make them cooperate? Nothing will make them respect the NRCM, but it will disrupt the game they prepared for us. We just stripped off one layer of whatever it is. Her decision to not corroborate that party was their story was definitely part of the plan. Why did she tell us all that? What else could she have done? Lie? She saw there was no way to lie and get away with it. I'm not sure she had to lie. I wouldn't have known. If not, then me. It was a smart move from her. She seems candid. You think so? A shadow runs across his face. Being candid is the best way to lie. The appearance of candor with some facts thrown in draws attention away from whatever one chooses to omit. She may be trying to control the pace of the investigation. Anyway, we should move. I suspect our inquiries will bring us back here soon enough. Soon enough? That's not soon enough! Let me get down. Oh, yeah, there it is. How's your morning going? How's your afternoon going, son? I woke up late. Let me just see. Okay.
Can I help you?
Let's see. Classy. She nicked the phone line. Why? No, fuck it. I don't want to know. I don't want to know why these degenerates do what they do. I thought we had one good guest in the building. He really doesn't like it being classy. You have Lena? Lena's a good customer. Hungry, enjoying a bit of Stardew Valley and Disco Elysium. Oh, did you end up picking those up, or are you just enjoying watching me and playing Stardew? How you liking that 1.4 update? Ain't that a son of a bitch? Yeah, I bet you didn't want it to be her. What's that supposed to mean? Fuck you, buddy. She's not my taste. Good thing she pays for her stuff on time. I'll forward her bill and be done with it. Wow, she really isn't her. He really isn't her, or she really isn't his taste. Her spell hasn't spread here. You have Lena. Lena's a good customer. Yeah, well, she's not a guest, is she? What? Did someone mention my name? We were paying you a compliment and finding out a degenerate from room 3 nicked the phone line. Everything is okay here. Good thing that guest pays for her stuff on time. Yeah, I'll be done with that.
The clowns are still hanging around. What is it now?
Classy says she wasn't raped. Fuck! I knew that fucking whore couldn't be trusted. You've hit a nerve! Titus is furious. No more than that. The loyal Titus feels betrayed. For the record, she steps in forcibly. Titus Haggerty did not explicitly specify the victim as a whore, nor did he say anything about trusting her. Oh, shut up and stay out of this, Liz. He raped her. He was out of his fucking mind. You have no idea. She's just in denial, asshole. You don't understand the traumatic experience. She's shutting down and she doesn't fucking trust you. Yeah, she's crazy, you know, the rat-faced man says carefully. A crazy bitch. You know the type. She's fucked up. This is a diversion. Stay on track. Get the bullshit, she told me the truth. Well, man, he says through clenched teeth, I am at the end of my goddamn rope with you. I fucking told you not to push her, and you went and pushed her. Something breaks him. He takes a step closer. I am going to fucking Titus Hardy. Her voice rings through the room like a warning shot. Success. Titus backs down, fists down, everybody. Everett personally sent me to take care of this. If this goes south, we'll all be in this shit. But you, Titus Hardy, are going to be buried. Do I understand? Or am I understood? When she's angry, she emphasizes the S. It gives her voice a strangely hypnotic quality. Her lips barely move as she spoke. Frankly, it's a bit terrifying. Someone has to rush in to break the tension. The second in command. Look, Copper, the tattooed man snaps his fingers to get your attention. We know the dead fuck was a rapist and a killer. We got him to confessing to it on tape. Show it to him, T. What's the harm, right? Here, jerkwad. He slams an audio tape on the table. Listen to this shit and come back and tell me the soldier of the apocalypse was an innocent man. Another apocalyptic actor in town? This is their last play, this tape. Their story in tatter's a mess, but it might be nice to listen to. At this point, you don't need to. Why should I care about the tape? You lied to me. Let's see. Where did you get this tape? You think we go into this shit deaf and dumb? URCM aren't the only ones who know how to bug people. There's no university degree for that. So you bugged them. How? We have machines. We're in logistics. How do you think a harbor works? It's advanced stuff. Understood. You've listened into the conversation. How long? Since way before their chief started taking swing lessons. Things got nice and quiet after that. So which one of you is doing the advanced radio work then? It's not advanced, the heavy man wheezes. You're just holed up in a coop all day, writing down what they say. It gets hot as hell in there. Don't put yourself down, Angus. It's important work. Yeah, man, you're like a radio genius or something. Them notes are some in-depth stuff, indexes and shit. Where can I listen to this? I'm sure we can find a tape player. Where can I listen to this? Why don't you try shoving it up your ass, genius? Yeah, play it with your ass, cocksucker. I'm sure we can find a tape player. It's not a problem. Your room had one, or maybe it's too broken. Don't forget your tape, lawman. Compliment of Titus Hardy.
I've got nothing to say to you. Why are you wasting your time?
Watching you play disco, playing the new stuff and started. The new farm map is nice, but I wish one of the areas was a bit more. Everything else is nice so far. I've honestly never made it to the start of year 3 where Grandpa's supposed to do the judging. Yeah, my problem is I end up succeeding way too early, and I end up getting bored with it. And I was like, oh boy, I made another fucking 100 million. Whoop-de-doo. Stupid back. Let's see. Completely broken down. This would have been very helpful with the Mega Mix. He stars the way, but it isn't anymore. Yeah, any ideas? My kinema only comes with the radio. Let's try to find a new tape player. Perhaps we should talk to Roy at the pawn shop. He has stuff. Yeah, that's what I was going to do originally. Damn, I have a bunch of shit I have to do without Kim. If you can get the greenhouse up before the end of year 1, things go way faster. Yep. You should see the wife and Derek play that game. They are really good at it. It is fucking scary how good and efficient they are at that game. Wait, pawn shop's down here. I'm an idiot. There, working class drunk. You know what that means, right? Discard thought. No, we're actually going to do this right. We're not going to abuse our power. That doesn't help anyone.
Hello again. How can I help you?
Let's see, yeah, we still have those boom boxes on the shelf. Yeah?
The original one looks nice in my head, Amber.
What's
Here.
up?
Pick a hat.
Pick a hat, huh? Amber was right.
Which color do you like?
Damn. I think I'm gonna go with the red one.
See if it fits.
Cool.
I've got a couple in here that are, like, they're kind of different in sizes. So,
Yes, that seems to fit.
I say it's just supposed to kind of fit down over your ears like that.
Oh,
Here, try this one. It's a little bit bigger. Because it fits me, so it should fit you. Because it's supposed to hold your ears to the side of your head and
yeah,
keep them out of the wind.
that works out.
Cool. Have a hat.
Thank you.
And it's like it is fleece, so it's going to stretch a little bit after you wear it a couple of times. So,
Thanks.
whenever it gets cold out, there you go.
I can use this for sleeping.
Or that works too.
Hooray! I have a nightcap. A nice red flannel fleece nightcap. That is a goodly Christmas present. No, it's a nightcap. It's like a tube that's coming down and getting bigger. It's very simple, but it's very comfortable. That is going to help me at night, because I get cold at night. Let's see, can I play a tape? Sorry man, I can't be giving out freebies, never have, never will. Can I get a discount? A police discount? A discount, I do have to keep the lights on. It's 12 real. Remember, he doesn't like music. He likes sounds. The Door Gunner Megamix is his type of tape. Certainly he'd give you a discount if he knew you'd play something experimental. I'm not just doing any police work. I got the Door Gunner's Megamix here. An era-defining work. Let's do 4 real. 4 real is offensively low, but just this once for the Musique Concrete Cop. Alright, we need to get more. We need to get more real. Can I sell shit? That's not the right button. Kinda, yeah. How much real do I actually have? 246. Fuck. Damn it, I need to make more money. Don't care, pronouncing him how I want. Where the fuck do I even get money? I'm a destitute cop.
Right to work! Right to work! Shame on you!
You don't have any tips on how to punch a guy out, do you? Say a really big race theorist guarding a button? Not before you get in there and get your ass whooped. Learn by failure, I always say. He might have some advice, but you gotta at least try to fight Measurehead first. Return if you fail. That's the problem, I can't find any more bottles! Are you a mercenary hired by the Wild Pines? Hell no, I'm just an honest scab. I won't have talk like that around here, you understand? It has to be said, that was not a convincing line. Hell no, I'm just an honest scab. That doesn't sound too convincing. Fucking loincloth. He stares down at you mutely for a second. Loincloth? Now you see, that's not really what a scab would say, is it? Better not press the issue further, sire. He seems tense. Is there a tribunal being convened by any chance? Fucking bug. I'm going to interpret that as a yes, there's a tribunal. It won't be long until it's ready. How about you fuck off now, huh? Okay, of course. There could be weapons aiming at us right now somewhere above in the buildings. The other merc, don't push this, he's thinking. This is not the time. Okay, back off. I guess we'll turn in the few bottles we've gotten.
Is this about the questions again? Because I don't really know anything.
Does Freet have a warehouse in the back of Whirling and Rags? A warehouse? I don't know, maybe. I don't really care what Freet does. Come on, give me something to work with here. Fine, Freet doesn't have a warehouse, just a little back room here, okay? Can you tell me anything about this reality we're in? Oh, the raincoat, I've already looked at that. Damn it! Where the fuck am I gonna get more money? Yeah, that's what I thought at first. I'm not 100% about that, though.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Oh, let's see. What times are these? These are unimportant times, Detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled, 1,000th of a second too late. Too late for what? For the big time. What's the big time? The revolution. Huh, what is this revolution I keep hearing about? It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species get together to decide what's next. Who gets shot in the head and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle. Who got shot in the head? Those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the World Revolution, but the communists, they all got shot in the head. Oh, and the anarchists, too. They shot them, too. So, well, one forgets they even existed. Did the communists and the anarchists shoot back? Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people. Truly a kerfuffle. It was a kerfuffle, all right. Yes. The Insulindian deluge, they called it. I had a deluge, too, in my head. Point to your little head. Yes, an acute thiamine deficiency can be exacerbated by alcohol. Exacerbated means made worse. Anyone else got shot in the head on the opposing side? Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head or thrown beneath a horse or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king, just the king's nephew. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist. Smart thing. Yes, King Guillermo had a nose for bad PR. He ran before it, what is the expression, went down. Anyway, Gil got out alive and his nephew Frise got shot in his place. Him and tens of thousands of his wonderfully fascist kingsmen, it was a wild time. Who got the mineral rights? The liberals got the mineral rights. She looks up at the sky and the inland at the crumbling city, and by mineral rights I mean everything. Oh, and by liberals you mean... Liberals are usually middle-class people, detective, or the remaining gentry, the beneficiaries of the pre-revolutionary arrangement. Some were rich enough to stay with the Constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the ultras, or the ultra-liberals. They fared well. How did the liberals win it all? They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember? She's one of them, of course. If everyone got shot, who was there to surrender to? To foreign intervention, the coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights. Wait, you just said the liberals took everything. The liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The coalitionists took the ground. She stomps her rubber-booted foot. The ocean, the laws, and the people. We're the coalition. The coalition of nations. Grand Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Orange, Surlet, Clef, the armed center of the world. They landed here and ended the revolution. It was the moralist thing to do. There's bitterness in her voice, tempered with understanding. She's critical, but ultimately understands the cause. Moralist? The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights and not shooting people in the head. At least not in the same manner and volume as others do. They're the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now, the coalition government. This is their special administration region. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist. I don't think I'm a moralist, ma'am. Of course, she says you're not easy to be moderate about head shooting in your line of work. When was this kerfuffle? The turn of the century revolution? Don't answer, it's a trick question. The revolution began in 02 on the Grand Isola, although by the end nearly the whole world had gotten involved. Who started it? It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarath, the particularly virulent prion disease which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Mazov came along and overthrew the government. What did this Zarath do? It made people overthrow their government. Wow, really? Of course not. It was a highly infectious microorganism that destroyed brain tissue. The actual cause of the revolution were material. The pandemic only proved the spark. Where did it spread from there? From Revachol and the Grad, not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Mazov's government was overthrown in 08, and the coalition crushed the Revachol commune 2 years later. It was the end. What came next? Why, you and I, officer. Our lives in the special administration regime. Something tells you her life and yours are not that similar. Maybe it's because she has a boat and you have a necktie, a pair of pants. Our lives are very different from each other. No doubt, but we share the same time and position on the planet's crust. That counts for more than you'd think. What's the special administration region? A city-state divided into free market zones under the everlasting interregnum of the coalition of nations, and you, of course, the citizens of the militia. The clatter of typewriter keys fills the main hall of a reappropriated silk mill, Precinct 41. Chad Tillibrook punches enter. Outside officer Elf Boy Williams slams the door of an armored motor carriage. The special administration region is the third incarnation Revachol, after the failure of the suzerain and the commune. What happened to the rest of the world? Modernity. They developed the marvels of intersolary communication, telematic milieu, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Revachol West, the aftermath continues for the 5th decade. 58-1 minus 8 equals 43. Wait, you're saying it's been like this for 43 years? Time flies. What have we been doing? The 20s saw a decade of urban war. West of the river, leveled offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement about what came before. 08 to 19 was simply hell, and after that, in the 30s, things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, things were going somewhere, were they? Yeah, I leveled up! No, it was a market mirage fueled by cocaine and quantitative easing. The 40s dispelled it like a cold splash, and a solo-wide hangover, you might say, and here we are. Welcome to reality, baby! For her to be where she is, Wild Pines Group must have picked the right side. Which side was the Wild Pines Group on? They picked the winning side, that's why they're here, and others are not. They chose wisely. Perhaps it wouldn't have turned out that way had I been in charge. I might have bet on the king and led the Pines to doom. You would have sided with the king? I would have sided with the cannons if you'd seen the calibers of the things. You might have too. Perhaps it's better I was born when I was. 10 of the 14 Indo tribes got it wrong. Feld, Capri, Tricentennial, so I suppose I would have been in good company. She narrows her eyes, turning her gaze to the future out of professional habit. All she can see are vague outlines of a great winding down, the doldrums, people killed but no great transitions of wealth. It makes her feel old, and something else, something you can't quite put your finger on. What would you have done differently? Good question. What would you have done differently? No, hurry. I asked you, who are you in all this? And I asked you, passless detective of the citizen militia, what insight has acute encephalopathy given you? I would have positioned myself very precisely. I would have made it out with the mineral rights. Ding! Yay, money. You and everyone else, but that's got nothing to do with preventing the revolution. Ah, well, what was, I guess. I wonder if I can cheese it. Nope! Can't cheese it. They are what they are. Who knows? An afterbloom may yet come. Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you wish to know? Not so fast. Who is she in all this? And ask her who she is. She owes you an answer. We already did that. Oh, wait. Oh, there it is. Who are you? She won't maneuver her way out of this one. What are you? I am the vilest of the vile. A traitor, a devourer of nations and infants. I am an ultra. Cool, I liberate pretty hard myself. Ding! Yay! Yay! We have enough money to buy that tape deck now. Booyah! Ultra liberalism for the win! No, she shakes her head slowly. Not like me. I am the nether creature of the forbidden swamp who pushes the king under a shit wagon and betrayed the revolution. Are you liberated enough to offer up your home on a plate for financial colonists? No, I think not. Tell me, now that I've uncoiled myself, do you find me frightening? In her green eyes you see a mixture of truth and self-satire, decades of guilt and pride. Forgive her. But only because you like pearlescent teeth and those light green eyes. I forgive you. I do hope so. I do hope we're able to remain collegial despite it all. Tell me, when you look in the mirror, do you not see a monster staring back at you? When the dust settles, the liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous powers to shape the future. This was all our last generation managed. Would you have done things differently? The respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government that keeps Martinet monument to the efficacy of its artillery, I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the coalition, not here in Martinet, and not in the Stella Marie or Delta beachheads either, if not for my own sake, then for my daughters. We had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isola down rather than let them have it. Dark orange flame reflects in her green eyes, an oil fire on the ocean. You're a smart woman, perhaps. Her earrings chimes as she nods. My intellectual vanity will be my undoing. You're no dummy yourself. A smart boy getting smarter, one basic term of reality at a time. You're a patriot? Yes, I suppose I am. But I wouldn't be a patriot anywhere but here. Seditious talk, ma'am. You have a daughter? Yes, wherever else I am also a mother and a wife. Now shall we return to reality? Good idea. Just ask him. He won't make a scene. Kim, can I talk to the ma'am alone for a second? Fine. See, what can he do? You're a grown man. Now what is the pail? Are you sure you're sure? Your colleague seems adamant. Yeah, what is the pail? Okay, she concedes. The pail is the most dominant geological feature of the world, detective. The separative tissue between the isolas. It is the inter-isolary mass. Wait, what is an isola? Isola is a Messianian word for a continent of matter enveloped on all sides by the pale, also isolation or landmass. We used to believe there's only one. In the last 4 centuries, we have discovered 7. Mundi, Sol, Samara, Lomara, Grad, Katla, and this Insuland. And Insuland is an oceanic isola. It comprises mainly of water. Mundi is the largest. Katla is the coldest, and Solde is the bluest. Each is perishing and dear. Okay, what is the pale like? Achromatic, Odorless, featureless, the pale is the enemy of matter and life. It is not like any other or anything in the world. It is the transition state into being nothingness. The negation of being. The negation of... That's right, the negation of being. Is it here? No, Detective, we're safe. It begins... What's up?
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Before I get too far into this, does that look like a plaid to you? I mean, we got the middle bits of this to do still.
Oh, you still got the blue bit, so I'm looking at this specific stripe?
Yeah, this...
Yeah, that looks like plaid.
Okay. That's what I was going
I got a hat!
Yes, I noticed. You have the red hat.
What do you have?
I got snowflakes.
I want to see your snowflake hat.
No, snowflakes.
Uh, 6,000 kilometers to the north, even more to the southeast and west. You're in the middle of the Isola. We have nightcaps.
I'm not using it as a nightcap.
I might.
I'm not. You can.
I might use it when I go out walking. Probably end up sweating through the damn thing, though. As your gaze instinctively turns north, a small black pit opens in your stomach. 6,000 kilometers from the end of the world? Yes, that's enough. Many cities are built much closer. And there... An uproar of matter, darling. Rising into the pale, rolling, evaporating even. A great vision. The area of transition between the world and the pale is called the porch collapse. Imagine a gray coronal mist, cold vapor. What the fuck is all of this? Marked by spores of an opportunistic microorganisms, a mold that is adapted to grow at the edge of unrest. It's the most disco thing you will ever see. What are its physical qualities? It's difficult to describe or even measure. Something whose fundamental property is the suspension of properties. Physical, epistemological, linguistic. The further into pale you travel, the steeper the degree of suspension. Right down to the mathematical numbers stop working. No one has yet passed the number barrier. It may be impossible. If we're surrounded by it, how do you get from Isola to Isola? Oh, it is so difficult for us. It's possible to force 3 dimensions on the pale. In modern times, we can even compress its latitude, bouncing radio waves from one end to the other, shortening the path. But it's still hard for humans to navigate the pale without getting lost or having our mind damaged. The pale can damage the mind extensively. How? Some say the damage stems from extreme sensory deprivation. Others, the pale somehow consists of past information that's degrading. It's rarefied past, not rarefied matter. They call it the blend over the self. The pale does not only suspend the laws of physics, but also the laws of psychology, maybe history even. The human mind becomes over-radiated by the past. Who says and who argues? The logical positivists say the dialectical materialists argue. What does this over-radiation feel like? It feels terrible, absolutely terrible. International standards strictly limit civilian travelers to 6 days of pale exposure per year. It's more for her. Way more. You're not a civilian passenger. No, nameless detective of the citizen militia. I'm a member of the Entropanetic business class. I'm cleared and trained for 22 days of pale transit annually. Perhaps that explains your strange pining after the revolution. Some degraded early memories. Someone else you've met may have been exposed as well. The strange gray-haired woman is in her lorry. Do lorry drivers pass the pale? Yes, carried in the holes of airships. It's a horrific job. Automation will abolish it soon. You should ask the pale driver about this, see what she says. That poor woman must have stories to tell like you wouldn't imagine. Are you over-radiated? Up to my gills, officer. What is entropanetic? Entropanetics is the scientific study of the pale, or a recent iteration of it by way of God. The study of the pale reaches back 6,000 years. They called it the Western Plain. They had not traveled the entire circumference of the Parkinese in Super Isola. It was not merely the West, it was everywhere back then surrounding it. Did they cross it, this Western Plain? There are signs of pretty modern crossing. Successful navigation of the pale relies not just on technical know-how, but intensive psychological preparation. Some of these tactics have been known for thousands of years. What has entropanetics changed then? Nothing. We remain powerless before the pale. The only real advance in pale transit is the speed at which an aerostatic craft can pierce it. Less exposure leads to less effects. Aerostatic craft, hybrid airships, detective. Conventional rotors or jet engines no longer add velocity after the point of reference for motion is suspended once you cross from pale to pale. In essence, we throw them in and they come out the other end if we throw them precisely. If we do not, then they don't. Gone, like skipping a stone beneath the surface. How much pale is there compared to the world? The pale outweighs reality 2 to 1. There is more pale than there is matter, and the ratio is slipping. Slipping? How? To our detriment, or what do you think? It's growing. There's more and more of the pale. Precisely. One of the few measurable effects on the pale is that it is expanding at an unknown rate. An intuitive conclusion of the development is that one day the pale will cover everything, but this sort of talk is mostly left to extremists. It's not extreme at all. I know it's going to happen. Cover everything it can't be. Where would we go? Most people. So the world is ending! I was right! Damn! Most people, and indeed most private or government sectors, entire civilizations and religions even, find handy ways to ignore or downplay that knowledge. I suggest you do the same. Off we go! You see the hangman's mouth open. Off we go into the wild pale yonder. One and all, they say pale is death, but for the universe. Let's return to reality, please. Is it the first time you hear this? Do you really not remember anything? I sometimes sense vague shadows of a past, and it's not good. Then tell me, what do you think of the pale? Jesus Christ! I assume he must be. I'm worried. I have to say, it doesn't sound very liberal to me. You really didn't know. This does not spell good for the investigation, Detective. If you do not know even this, then... Yes, I'm in serious trouble here. Your colleague, Lieutenant Interrogate, is competent. I checked up on him, and you have me, and I will try to assist you in any way I can. Some of that assurance is meant for herself as much as it's meant for you. She must have a lot on the line here. Yay! I leveled up twice! Even if we do have one basic term... Even if we have to do it one basic term at a time. Good. You have not passed out from it. Perhaps I worried for nothing. Are we still on the reality lowdown, or should we do actual police work? That was fucking insane, Kim! Yes, well, the rest of us have dealt with it for thousands of years, so... You will have to deal with it too, the lieutenant thinks. That's why I didn't want you to know. Ah. Good luck, detectives. Kim cares for us! And not in a weird gay way, in an actual, you know, nice guy way. Alright, we're gonna put points directly into stats that we need. I might put 2 points into savoir-faire. We will have to see. I want my raincoat back! How the hell are we supposed to get that fucker down? Yes, quite. Alright, everything that removes savoir-faire. Off. I need better shoes. Pockets of these new jeans are perfect for sticking your hands into. Makes you look cool, calm, and collected. As your hand enters the pocket, your fingers brush against something soft yet crinkly. Hey, it's chewing gum wrapper. It reminds you of the fruity juice of apricots. You should inspect it closer. Something about this wrapper's texture is familiar. Damn it! Now I want to own an LGBT positive. That's a Korean name. That's fucking great. There it is! There it is again, the scent of apricots with a touch of cinnamon. It smells like the end of some distant summer. Surface of another planet or an ancient temple. Take a deep, deep breath. Bitter, citrus, sweet. It seems to grow stronger like a glow with every breath you take. Thought gained. Apricot chewing gum scented one until a blossom of skin and flower petals erupt behind your closed eyes. Made of toffee, cream, and distance, you just have to take a dive. Feels so familiar. Ancient temple. Yes. From the height of antiquity, a long time ago, millennia ago, on an island of time you can never return to. End of summer. The sun sets into the sea, but the water does not boil. Instead, it turns to liquid gold. For the moment, the world's store of precious metals seems to increase dramatically, and you are rich. There's a movement next to you, the shuffle of a small coat, warm like the evening, but when you turn, there's nothing there. Where did it go? Why are you talking to a gum wrapper? Put the wrapper away. -1 reaction speed, living in the past. You have found the trace of an entity who's been stalking you across the plains, the Gloomstalker, the conglomeration, the shadowy organization behind your downfall, perhaps connected to the dreaded X something. Granted, it is impossible to determine its true identity, but you can remember when you first smelled its treachery. Yes, use the Tutti Frutti gum wrapper. Reconstruct the day you first breathed in her untrustworthy atoms. We're gonna internalize that shit. Alright. Yes! Finally! Whee! Jesus Christ! You leap in the air. As you leap in the air, a chilly breeze engulfs you, sharpening your senses. Close your eyes. Let your senses take in the world around you. Ankles tingling from the tension, blood roaring in your ears. You're ready for your rendezvous with the concrete pavement below. He's so on the money, Bratton. Just imagine yourself dual-wielding a bottle and a flaming cigarette whilst airborne. Continue the voyage through the salty air. Booyah! As the concrete floor welcomes you, you realize it's been a while since you felt so alive, alert, and capable. It must be the adrenaline. I knew you could do it, the lieutenant exclaims. My climbing down might not have been as disco as your jump, but at least we can explore the harbor now. With your feet firmly planted on the concrete, the noise of the harbor rushes back in. Raincoat, motherfucker! Aspera decor and shivers. Damn! That's a nice raincoat. Oh, fuck! I look so disco! Fuck, man! I look awesome. Look at how fucking pimptacular I look. Ah! That's cool. And we still got our bag! Which means money! Get out of my way, Kim. All those empty wine bottles and cigarette butts on the ground. Someone partied really hard back here. Wait, how hard? Well, they went through 6 bottles of Polton Pilsner and 3 bottles of Commodore Red, and almost 5 packs of cigarettes. It must have been pretty hard. Did I do this? Well, the lieutenant looks at you. Yes, I think we can say with relative confidence that it was you. This is really sad. I must have been miserable. Yes, the lieutenant agrees. The scene isn't exactly ripping with joy. Let's just move on. This is going to take a second. Oh, thank God they let you zoom in. Night Watchman's booth. This is the Night Watchman's booth. The name on the door reads Rene Arnaud. So this is where Rene works. I'm going to look around. Search the booth, if you must. But please hurry. We're pretty easy to spot up here. Nothing incriminating catches your eyes. The cabinets are clean and their sparse contents meticulously organized. There's a framed photograph on the table. Take the picture. Item gained. Picture of a happy couple. It's a black and white photo of a young couple out on the street fair. The man, Rene, is dressed in a Royal Carbineer uniform. The girl is young and very pretty. She's smiling playfully. Rene looks like he's about to smile. This photo must be tied to some good memories. Why did you take the picture of Rene? I'm making an artistic photo collage. I'm gonna ask him about it. You're really interested in that old soldier. I'm not sure I understand your fascination, but sure, as long as it doesn't take up a lot of time. God! Faded industrial lettering. Is it the save reminder you get money for clicking the green dots? I think it's your save. Well, let's see. The crane control panel. There we go. That worked out. Crane was built with a purchase which has now been fulfilled to move this container. Who can say? All you know is it's special. I can't see how that was worth the ruckus except for seeing the crane in action, which I admit was satisfying. I love that Measurehead wasn't actually a Seminese. That he was born in Ravachol. The great machines are sleeping.
Container, I'll turn you nice and red. Container, put the logos on.
Lyrics to this container song are being made up as he goes along. The accent is so thick it's impossible to not notice he's Ubi. From the vanishing peninsula of Ubi Sunt on Mundi.
Container, container, used to be well pines. Container, container, now belongs to Everett. Everett, 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 he looks after everyone. Huh? Well, hey there. How can I help you, mister?
The look in his deep blue eyes is as sincere as you've ever seen. Kind of makes you feel like an asshole for no apparent reason.
I see you're not a union man, mister. Did you get lost? You're not one of them scabs, are you?
What is it with you people and scabs?
I don't personally mind. Folks is just folks, you know, and folks gotta eat. Just some of the other guys don't look too kindly on the scabbing kind, if you know what I mean, mister.
What's in that container over there? Oh, that one? That should be as empty as far as I know. Lots of containers have nothing in them. They're just waiting to be loaded up. You're Ubi, right? Oh, yes, born and raised in Irish. Mister, Mum had to leave me dad after he got a bit violent. Took us here to a new world. I was about 10 then, too old to lose my accent then. People say us Ubis are up to all sorts of trouble with sheep and other animals and whatnot. Ah, you Welsh fucker. I just want you to know there was never any of that where I come from. No, sir, those are just nasty rumors. Thanks. What are you doing with those containers? Oh, I'm just making some covers for them. It's easier for the crane operators to spot them. What's going on here? The containers in the yard are green, and the mountain rising behind them is all red. It's like some red infection was spreading outwards. This looks like a massive redecorating operation. Yes, they're hiding it from the inside. All the red containers have the Debarden Union logo on it. Has anyone told you why you need to change the covers? No, not really. Mr. Everett doesn't tell me all the big things. Says I go and tell them to everyone. Thanks, Leo. You've been very helpful. No trouble at all, mister. No trouble at all. Where is everyone? The harbor's empty. Almost the guys are down at the gates keeping the scabs from coming in. We're on strike. The whole union is. You don't have to work when you're on strike. We haven't worked for 2 months now. So no one is working? Not everyone is down there, of course. Mr. Everett is in his office where he always is. And Jean-Luc is guarding the gate. But Titus and his boys got into some drunken trouble and Everett sent them on a nice vacation for a week or so. What trouble did Titus and his friends get into? Oh, I'm not really supposed to talk about that. That's union business. Him and his boys stirred something up in town. Probably drank too much and got into a fight or something. I heard Mr. Everett telling him to take some time off. Don't go all bad cop on this simple, friendly fellow. Really? Did they kill someone? No, I don't think they killed anyone. Let's better talk about something else. Titus and his boys do good work. I don't want to get them in trouble over a little drinking. He probably doesn't know anything anyway. Who in their right mind would tell him? Do you work here? Yes, everyone needs a job, and this is mine. I'm Leonard, by the way, Leonard Bellick, but everyone calls me Leo. I'm like Mr. Everett's right-hand man when Mr. Edgar's out of town, and Mr. Edgar's right-hand Mr. Everett's away. Actually, Miss Beaufort is the right-hand man, but she's a lady. Who is this Miss Beaufort? A real pretty lady with skin like those dough and sucre candy bars my missus likes so much. They're real nice to suck on once the dinner is done and me and the missus sit down behind the radio, but I can't listen to the radio all the time. There's so much to do around here, and I'm always busy keeping things running here. Stay on this Miss Beaufort topic. Hold on, who's this Miss Beaufort you mentioned? Oh, Lizzie? She's a real sharp tool. Mr. Everett put her through some fancy school and everything east of the river. 4 years she was gone, and when she came back, she was all fancy and lawyerly. He respects the word, that's obvious. But she's a real nice girl. Grew up in this here neighborhood, knows everybody and gets along with everybody. Real pillar of the community one day, I'm sure. For a fraction of a second, there's sadness in his eyes. If me missus and me was to have a child, I'd be really happy if she turned out like her, but she can't have kids. Dr. Lemaitre said so, and she knows about such things. Been a doctor for almost 50 years, she has. Law school? Could she be talking about the union fixer, aka the gardener? So this the union fixer, the gardener? Looks like it. I'm not sure what a fixer is, but she's a real nice girl, sharp as a whip. Telling the gardener you know her name might throw her off, perhaps something to consider later. I'm looking for the leader of the Dockworkers Union. Oh, you want Mr. Everett? Him and his brother are both nice fellas. They live their entire life in this here neighborhood. Guys like Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar are real good guys, made Martinet what it is today. Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar and I went to the same school we did when we were boys. Patience, deep down you have the mental power to keep listening. Not many would, but you do. Had an arithmetic teacher, Miss Bella, as Leo lets out a little chuckle. Her real name was Miss Bella, and she was a real pretty lady, but when she got mad... All the boys liked her, if you know what I mean, mister. We used to sneak in her yard and peek through her window. One time we saw Miss Bellas with a fella. Yes, we did, mister. He looks for signs of disbelief in your eyes. No, you fucking didn't. Yes, we did, mister. Indeed we did. Him was a big fellow. He used to drive the troika near our school and everything. Lillian's whispered. And them was all naked, too. That's all I got to say about that. Very interesting, very interesting. Thank you for telling me the whole thing. Thank you. Huh, I almost forgot Mr. Everett is in that container over there. I got distracted telling the story, but he's in there. Okay, I'm off. Bye-bye now. He's a wee simple-minded boy. Alright, in we go. I want coffee. Look at this slimy son of a bitch. Before you is a walrus of a man seated behind a large desk. He looks up from his work, not the least bit surprised to see you. With great effort, he straightens himself up, yet says nothing. He simply stares at you. Typical power play. Wait for him to say first. Show him you got a backbone. The one good eye of this man feels you up without even flickering. The other, his lazy left eye, is constantly moving like a goldfish on a tank. Grotesquely magnified by his +6 glasses. For a moment, you don't know where to look. It is unbelievably humid in this trailer. Beads of sweat slide down the man's forehead. Keep staring. At first, nothing happens. His face wears a wide and self-satisfied smile. Every now and then, he smacks his big lips. Like a general over the map, he plots his moves. Judging by the way he's licking his chops, it's going to be a good one. So... That was weird. He begins to speak, albeit very slowly, purposely leaving a pause after his opening.
Mr. Dubois, Mr. Kitsuragi, how nice that you found a moment to pay a visit to the Debargers Union. I'm Everard Clare, head of this little operation here. Please, have a seat.
The folding chair looks like a torture device, extremely uncomfortable.
Go ahead, detective.
Whatever he has in store for you, he can't be good. He thinks I'll do my best. Forget about that. What's with this Dubois stuff? You're getting some serious bad vibes from the name. I'd rather stand.
Please, Mr. Dubois, let us converse in a civilized manner as equals. Take a seat. I insist.
He's trying to throw you off your game with his Dubois nonsense. Don't give him the pleasure. I don't, sir. It's kind of my thing.
Very well, Mr. Dubois. I respect a man with strong convictions. I, too, have convictions, one of which is that I will not engage any man who won't face me at eye level. Should you find yourself more amenable in the future, I'd gladly resume our conversation. But until then, I'm afraid I must ask you to leave.
Damn, that's a nasty play. He's got you, a titan of volition and a fork. Guess you just have to sit or leave.
Excellent, Mr. Dubois. I can see that you're a reasonable man, and reasonable men can be of great use to one another.
So tell me, how can the head of the Debargers Union help a representative of the Revachol Citizens Militia today?
The chair you're sitting on has got to be the most uncomfortable chair in the world. It's violating your backside.
Oh, by the way, I heard you got a rather rude reception from a certain Lawrence Garte. Some people have no manners. It pains me to say. This should take care of that nonsense. It should be sufficient to cover your expenses for a few days and patch over your differences with the cafeteria manager. Go ahead, take it.
Hey, that's 25 real. That's good money. Think of all the stuff you could buy. Wait, you know Garte?
Yes, I know Lawrence. He's a real character. No union man in him. A real piece of work, that boy is.
With a grin, he points to the check again. It's like you're on a game show. At least don't thank him for it.
Is there anything you'd like to say to me? Or...
No, it's cool. You've got integrity.
Cool? Wouldn't go that far. I'm sure there are cooler things than delivering a comically oversized novelty check to a cafeteria manager, but sure, if that's what's cool nowadays. Now, I'd like to set your mind at ease about one other matter. Your lost gun. Let me assure you, Union people are on it as we speak. I've got my best hounds looking for that lost gun. Lost gun. Lost gun.
The world is swallowed by a black hole of fear. Only 2 words escape in the gravitational pull. Lost and gun. When he says don't worry, he means be very worried. How do you know about my lost gun?
I know everything, Harry. Right now I know that you're worried. Don't be worried. Everything's going to be alright. It's not like you left it loaded. You didn't lose a loaded gun. Local children aren't out there playing with it right now, pointing it into their own mouths. It's in a safe place. I just know it. I have a feeling everything's going to be alright.
Haha! Oh, thank God! Who does this guy think you are? Ronnie the Rookie? You ain't worried about no lost gun or unpaid bill or forgotten name. You're the bad cop. You're probably more corrupt than him. Wait, that's it? That's my point of pride here? Fuck yeah, remember when you tried the expression on that little minx in the silver jumpsuit? That was you. Try it on Everett. Give him the expression. Click, click. The fat man seems to be enjoying your Ritter modus grip. He shoots one just like it, right back at you. Good, now lean in with some corruption. Listen, Everett, pal, we both know what makes the wheels of the world turn.
We do. Let them say what they will about you and me. We're both born fighters.
Nice bit with the chair, by the way. Good way to keep your guests on edge.
Why, thank you. It's always nice when a fellow professional appreciates your work.
That's it. Now kick back and add a final flourish for dignity. I'm not saying I'm corrupt. I'm rational.
You strike me as a reasonable man, Harry. I like that in a lawman. Let's cut to the chase, shall we? What can Everard Clare do for you?
I think we'd like to ask you a few questions. Don't you think so, Detective?
Questions will show him who's boss. Whatever you do, don't ask him about the gun first. You don't want him thinking you're scared. Could you help me get a dead body down from a tree? You might have noticed there's one hanging in a tree behind a hostile cafeteria. Oh my, don't take this question the wrong way, but why would I get involved in this matter? Mr. Clare, the man was hanged with a cargo belt, a steel-reinforced cargo belt. It's safe to assume the union had something to do with the murder. Besides, getting the body down would benefit all of us. It's a stain on the neighborhood. You're a community leader. Help your community out. I could certainly see how having him up there might start affecting some real estate values. But of course, all joking aside, I am going to help you. Jean-Luc, my boy, I'm sending 2 police officers down. They have a dead body and a tree problem they need help with. Namely, they need it to be taken down. And Jean, please take it easy with the race science. There's a yes to getting the body down, no to the race science. You can find Jean-Luc down by the gates. He's the big, impressive one. You know, tattoos, muscle, ethnic looking. Can't look at him. I can't miss him. Great guy. I want to talk about the hanging. Oh, of course, that's your main thing here. That's why you're in Martinet. I know everything that goes on around here, and I would love to help you, but I'm helping you with the body, like I'm helping you with the body. I mean, it's no secret the lynching is connected to the strike. So much to talk about, honestly. It's been weighing on me so heavily. You need to interview me. I sense there's a but. But there's a thing that's been keeping me up at night. I want to talk about the hanging. I mean, if we could just calmly talk, exchange information so we could blow this thing wide open. Yes, that sounds good. Let's do that. But I can't think straight with this thing weighing on me. You're police officers. I have a crazy idea. You guys are basically door-opening machines, incredibly talented at opening doors. I've opened a few doors in my life, and I'm sure you're going to open this one with flying colors, Harry. This really is simple, and there's nothing shady about it. Whose door is it? Oh, no one's. It's just a weasel. A weasel lives there. Nothing for you to worry about. Why don't you open it yourself? Harry, I'm a very busy man, and more importantly, I don't have the extraordinary physique you do. He slams his fist together. You look like you could run around all day. You want to send someone a message the police are working for you. I repeat, I'm a very busy man, Mr. Kitsuragi, and I must occasionally enlist outside help. What do you mean by a weasel? A loud blabbering weasel. When weasels feel no one is watching, they start acting foolishly. Just go there, unlock the door, and leave it open. He's been such a burden. I want to get this over so I can discuss business with you. I bet you don't even know anything about the hanging. Harry, my dear friend, I am what people call the local bigwig. I know everything that goes on in Martinet. Damn it, fine, I'll look into it. We need to talk about that fucking murder. Open apartment door. You can get the key from Manana. Manana's like a free agent in the Union. Special operation, hardened socialist, a real free thinker too. He'll tell you precisely where the door is. One last thing, Harry. Just open the door. You don't need to go in or anything. I just want the weasel to come home and see the unlocked door. I'm told the Union is involved with the drug trade. What? Harry, how could you say that to me? You know I appreciate a joke as any jolly fat guy, but I can't take the slander. Are you actually investigating this? The reaction appears to be sincere, but it's impossible to tell with this guy, honestly. I am. The man rubs his temple. You hurt me, Harry. Me, a friend. But you know what? I trust you, and I trust all my friends. And I know you'll never talk to me about this again because you don't want to wound me. So what do you want? And let's change the subject. He's hiding his real reaction beneath courtesy. Thank you for understanding. We'll continue to do what we must. You too, Lieutenant. You know, I like you, but you are never my favorite. I'm a Harry guy. I'm Team Harry. None taken. Did we have anything else to do here? Aren't you going to ask me how I got in? Harry, he says almost gently, honestly, I'm just relieved you didn't get a hernia, a man at your age. I too am surprised by the resilience and athleticism of this tool I've been provided with. Huh, you did look like you were going to collapse and die when I told you about your lost gun. Anyway, I assure you I'm a very well informed man. Information reaches me before I even get the chance to request it. I met Joyce, the company representative. Oh, that's very nice. I haven't gotten around to her yet. Very busy, very busy. I hope you're getting along. One thing I want to make very clear, Harry, is that this is not some kind of union versus corporate situation. Everyone is just pals here. Just pals. We're all trying to do what's best for Martinet here. Don't feel like you can cooperate with her. Because you and I are such good friends and I'm helping you get that nasty body down from the tree. I'm not a jealous guy. Whoa, that's so nice of him. Suspiciously nice. What happened to the previous negotiator, Mr. Grammont? What do you mean, Harry? Nothing. I let him go. He made concessions for the company in previous negotiations. Why would you let an ally like that go? He's an old man, Harry. I wanted him to spend more time with his family. God knows how long he's got left. You called him a midget. Harry, I have little people in my organization. I would never call someone a midget. What is this? Honestly, I'm beginning to think you're a midget, Harry. I'm only kidding, Harry. You're not a midget. No one is. We're pals. Joyce said the previous leader vanished under mysterious circumstances. Vanished? The woman left her casserole in the oven and couldn't make it here in time for the voting. Oh, did I leave my casserole on? Better go home and check. The election can wait. When she got back, the whole thing was over. Wait, there was no mention of a casserole from Joyce. Funny, Joyce didn't mention any casserole. Harry, do not fixate on this little matter. Maybe it was a rabbit stew or a hairdryer or an iron. The point is, her heart wasn't in it. Mine was. That much is true. His heart truly is in it, although you wouldn't think so by looking at him. If it's spilled blood you're looking for, then there certainly isn't any in his expression or demeanor now. Are you sure? I find it a little odd. I'm just a nice guy. I wouldn't be here if I wasn't nice. Politics is all about emotions, and I want you to have positive emotions when you think of me. Everett, Joyce seems to think the Union is lowballing her. Yes, lowballing, of course. This isn't a casino, Harry. Real people, real livelihoods are at stake here. Everything's a casino for those rich types. His expression makes it clear. This is childish and irresponsible behavior. Why haven't you let her in to see you? If she actually wants to see me, she will find a way. Any good negotiator would, and I don't have anything to discuss with a bad negotiator. He doesn't want to see her. It's simple as that. Let's talk about something else. Of course, Harry, let me just assure you one more time. It's perfectly okay to share anything we discuss here with this Joyce. This is a completely transparent organization. I have no interest in what she's doing, but I myself have nothing to hide. Your business is your business, and I respect your privacy. But remember, none of this is secret. Probably because he's not telling me anything worth knowing. Tell her about all of this. My brother's picture, my singing swordfish clock. He looks around. Tell her how overweight I am and how I'm helping you find your lost gun. Tell her about everything. Everett doesn't mind. It is rather interesting to tell people things about each other, isn't it? It was nice telling him about her right now. You call me Mr. Dubois. Of course, let us dispatch with the formalities. You call me Everett, I call you Harry. That's what the hang corpse called you, Harry. So that's really my name? My God, so it's true. I didn't want to believe it, but you are a fantastic science fiction amnesia cop, aren't you? What are the odds of that? I think the odds of that are very low. Might be a good idea to hide your confusion. I mean, see what his guess is. A game is at first. My memory's fine, I'm just testing you. So good to hear that, Harry. Apparently my sources were wrong. However, if you did have a spot of memory trouble, I could help you out with my big fat folder. Words flow like a river of honey from his lips. I guess word has already reached him. No matter, no harm done. Are you trying to tell me you've gotten hold of some of our documents? Mr. Kitsuragi, would you mind me and Harry are talking about his lost identity now? Asking too many questions will make you look weak. You should maybe focus on the folder. Don't just jump to the folder. That's not smart. Shows you're on the edge. Do some probing first. Let's see. Let me get this straight. What is my full name? It's Harry. Harry Dubois. You feel like a Dubois, but you don't feel like a Harry. I feel like a Dubois, but not quite like a Harry. Something longer. Sure, okay, you're Harold, Herman, Haroldemus, but that's not what the record said. The record says Harry Dubois, a real man's man name. Mr. Kitsuragi doesn't even seem slightly empathetic to your memory loss, Harry. I, however, wish to help you in any way I can. Where'd you get that folder? Ah, this? My friends in your organization gave it to me, Harry. This translates into, ha, you guys are so corrupt. I find that very suspicious. May I have a look? I'm afraid this is meant for union eyes only. I'm sure you understand. Please consider, Harry. As you look at the folder, Ever covers it with his hand and pets it. Is he trying to hide that it's not an RCM folder? It certainly doesn't have the RCM stamp on it. That's not an RCM folder. Okay, Harry, you got me. This is from the Census Bureau, not the RCM. The Census Bureau people are absolutely corrupt. You should do something about them. He got the name from the Census Bureau, and everything else is from your actions here in Martinet. Yes, Mr. Kitsuragi, from the Census Bureau, like I said. Now, I'm actually a very busy man, so if there's anything else I can do for you, that means he doesn't really know anything about you. A pity. The mystery of you will have to remain a mystery for the time being. So the Census Bureau says my name is Harry Dubois. Yes, that's what I said. Try to keep up, okay? Let's move on. I'm going to leave now, but we might talk again later. Wait! He pulls out a plastic card. You need this to get in and out of the gate. Great. Wouldn't want to get stuck in here. Here, you're one of us now. A real red and white union man. Take care, Harry. Ruh-roh. That was fun. What a fucker. Damn it, I want that red paint. I need to paint. Whew! I got a bunch of shit done. Surprisingly, not a lot of time has passed.
Yes?
The eyebrow. This guy's got authority off the charts. With just a flick of his eyebrow, he's able to make you his thrall. So what can I do about it? Nothing. You better hope he doesn't abuse his authority. There's a lot of it. Silently scream for help. If the lieutenant were an evil man, who knows what sort of havoc he can unleash. Fortunately, he's a committed officer of the RCM. He'll only use his power for the good. Dosh! Hello, hello, what's this? Ooh. Good gloves. Great gloves. I have a bullet! Oh yeah, you're right, I should open that. Where the fuck is it? Ah, there it is. Oh my god, there's a body! Yeah, I didn't notice that was there. I didn't notice the little green outline. It's a good thing you caught it. I think there's something weird about this container. Is that like your thing with that wall again? No, I don't want to paint it. I'm drawn to it. There are millions of containers here. Why are you fixating on this one? I don't know, Kim. It just feels special. In a cargo container, just like all the others. We're not here to interact with containers. We're here to talk to the Union, right? Knock on the door. Open the door. You attempt to use the handle, but to no avail. The door seemed mechanically locked. To your left, the lieutenant considers your actions with some puzzlement. Damn it! The door is a lie! Yeah, I bet she would have the key, wouldn't she? Whoa. Let's see. Punch clock payphone. Tokens unavailable due to strike. Use change. Someone has forgotten to properly close one of the drawers. It's unfortunate for the Union to just leave their paperwork laying around like this. Let's see what's in it, he thinks. Open the drawer. The drawer opens smoothly. An organized selection of brown folders. Browse through the folders. Hundreds of documents containing logistical data. 2 types of transactions stand out. Materials coming into Ravishall from the outside world. And the same materials being handed over to companies inside Ravishall. Anything interesting? It's hard to make sense of the thicket of company names, dates, quantities, and percentages. You try to focus, but the lines are getting blurred. God damn it! Look how blurry all the lines on those papers are. How unwieldy your own willpower is to yourself. You like an absurdist Samaran monk, focusing through not focusing. Hermeneutics was almost within your grasp, but now only vague letters float in front of your eyes. Less meaningful, but aesthetically more pleasing. Could I actually focus through not focusing? You're a police officer, not a spiritual healer. You can focus the normal way by turning your attention to something and just not letting go. If I let my eyes go completely out of focus, all shapes start melting into each other. Is that what you're doing with those folders over there? Yes. Right. This is probably not relevant to our case. After all, we're not investigating an accounting mystery. Volition through focusing. There we go. Whatever's hidden here is hidden well. Concentration isn't enough. Only a trained accountant with a background in logistics would be able to really make sense of it. However, there is a little handwritten note stuck on the side of the drawer. It appears to be a to-do list written in large, uneven capital letters. Remember, Leo, Everett shoes, special whirling borscht, water Everett's plant, sweep office floor, more banners. All items on the list have been crossed out and the note itself is crumpled. Look, Kim, a to-do list with the name of errands for Everett. One of his aides must have left it. Nothing intimidating here. The special borscht seems like a little odd on the list. Let's see, take another look at the note. Ooh, a $5 redo postcard. Nice. And a healing item. Ooh, bitchin' shades. These are way better shades than what we have. Yoink! I really should take that fucking tie off. I hate that tie. We got that Jamrock Shuffle going on. Damn it, I shouldn't have taken the fucking check.
Your race descent has only worsened. since I last saw you. You have really let yourself go.
Everett told you to help us get the body down. So it was you surmounted the harbor wall in a display of athletic prowess to reach my superior, then had him give me an order. I salute your cunning, and I will remove the body from the tree with my bare hands. You're so noble, Measurehead. That's a but. But while I'm gone, someone must stand guard on the bridge. That someone needs to be you. Both of you. That would mean you're openly showing the people you're taking the Union's side. Wait, that means showing everyone we're taking orders from the Union. Yes, that's precisely what it means, homunculus. This is not going to happen any other way. Lieutenant, what do we do? This is the uncomfortable result of not taking it down ourselves. I can live with the compromise. Listen to your little friend. He is wise in his childlike way. His mysterious race may yet prove fierce competition to my heroic haplogroup. Okay then, wait here while measure goes. I don't want to support the Union! Measurehead's babe. So are you guys like cops or something? We're just trying to keep things from going to shit. Have you ever thought that maybe things should go to shit? I'm Katya, by the way. You hear that? That sound, he's breaking something. Yeah, Jean-Luc must be really tearing it up over there. I wish I could see it. I also wish I could see it. Look at you, RCM rent-a-cops. Guarding the bridge like Everett's lapdogs. Is that where we're at now? The RCM is for sale? Spoken by a mercenary pretending to be a worker. That's none of your business. Shrill laughter. It's Kuno. Then, the man turns to look behind him at the behemoth appearing around the corner and approaching him, walking past him. The corpse has been removed from the tree. Stand down and congratulate yourself. You have cited your race victory today. There has been no side choosing. We did what we had to keep order. What you had to do was become a Union man for all to see. Leave. Ugh.
So, how'd you like our harbor?
You've been in there. Talked to the boss man too, probably. Nice enough. It's a better rest area on the path leading across open plains, he nods solemnly. Right, you talk to the boss eye to eye, like men of the plain. If you have any more questions, I'm set to talk. Everett says you have a key to a door. A key, huh? What door is this key supposed to open? He said it belonged to a weasel. Oh, say no more, I get you. I got that key right here, and let me tell you, it's mighty good of you to help us out during this strike. Working class solidarity, as they say. I saw an opportunity and I took it. I'm a hustle grinder. I'm not so sure about the hustle grind, but, you know, it doesn't matter. It's a good thing you're doing. Great. What you're looking for is the basement door behind the greenhouse. That's behind the whirling in rags. That's all I know. Our organization, which you would call compartmentalized, it means we keep out of each other's business. Okay, but where did you get the key from? The janitor gave it to me. Nice fellow. We talked about life and things that really, truly matter. None of this mess we're in, this jiving and juggling. What's it for? He doesn't wait for an answer. Defeat our children, I guess. Anything else I should know about this task? Shakes his head. I'm more of a philosophical dock worker. I like to talk about the big picture stuff. Who I am, who you are, what we're fighting for. That means he's not going to tell you because he doesn't know. But he will shoot mouth with you now that you're working for Everard. Who he is and what they're fighting for. This is interesting. Let's see. Why are you striking? We're negotiating our share. Your share? Aye. How large a share would you like? All of it. However, right now we want the harbor workers to be on the company's board so they can take part in the decision-making process. This seditious talk sounds like communism. Just so we're on the same page, communism is basically wanting to kill the rich people or deporting them to a labor camp in Southeast Grod. But don't say that out loud if you're a communist. Are you a communist? No, he pauses to think for a moment. I don't think I'm a communist. Seeing something of value and saying I want it all to myself is a much older and simpler notion. No science to it at all. Even a weak child can think it. The only holding someone back are I can't and I shouldn't. You shouldn't take what's not yours. Then how can anything ever be mine? But that's okay, we don't have to agree. The prairie is wide enough for both of us. The boss man, Everett, what can you tell me about him? I think it's best you make up your own mind now that you met him. In my eyes, he's a capable organizer and a decent businessman. You seem to have spent a lot of time thinking about this political situation. Sure, I've had necessary free time. Fortunately, there's always time. Look in his brown eyes conjures up an understanding for him. Having command of his time is the most important thing. It all comes together now. The way he speaks about scabs, his general attitude. He's a follower of a 500-year-old Franco-Nigerian Bidero code, itself an appropriation of Vespertine cool. That of a noble peasant or a traveling herdsman, true to yourself and independent in your actions, loyal to your friends. Maybe I am a Bordero. No. I could. No. The man sits on the railing, his hands reaching far back, yet it feels as if he could effortlessly go even wider, an endless torrent of time.
Vigilance, officer! What can this old carabinier do for you?
I found your guards booth. Yes, the Debardeurs Union pays me to stand vigil during the nights. Not out of any political allegiance, mind you. I'm an old man, don't sleep more than a few hours every night anyway, and money is tight. He feels like he has to justify himself for some reason. You must have seen something on the night of the murder. Your booth looks right into the yard. Yes, it does. Unfortunately, I wasn't working the night. Been on a 2-week leave since last Monday. Hey, wait, why were you on a leave? It's a private matter. Nothing to do with your investigation. You see, Officer, Rene is the kind of man who'd rather die than admits he need medical assistance or, God forbid, seek it. A real man's man. He's just going to write it out. I'm fine, goddammit. Ranch your own business. It's a nothing to do. Just cut back on coffee. So who's working that night? No one. The booth has been unmanned since last Monday. There's no other guard. It's just me. No one has been guarding the container yard since last Monday? Yes, it's not actually an issue. I mean, look, officers, the container yard doesn't actually need a guardsman. Never had one before Rene. Mr. Clare had that booth built specifically for him, and it's mostly decorative. Mostly decorative? The possibility of someone being in there is enough to discourage any ill-minded individuals. Jesus! Everett created this job for Rene because he knows the Royal Carbonier's pension of honor and PTSD isn't something a man can live off. A decorated kingsman collecting terror reflects bad on the whole neighborhood. There's absolutely nothing wrong with terror collecting. It's my side thing, too. Oh, I didn't mean to imply there's something wrong with it. I do it, too. Everyone does. It's an excellent side thing. Yes, yes, yes. Can we conclude the topic of my guard booth now? He's not going to become an entrepreneur. I saw a picture in there. She is nobody. That is none of your concern, and I refuse to discuss my private affairs with the RCM. The lady is Jean-Marie Bellieu, and she sure as hell wasn't a nobody. Yay! As Rene turns to you from his partner and back, the medals on his chest rattle and glare. He keeps his spine straight and his ribcage lifted, displaying them proudly. How many medals are there? 2. The larger one is shaped like a cross, while the smaller one resembles the sun. The medals, did you get them for bravery, he interjects. It's a conflicted topic for the old veteran. There must have been a number of controversial episodes in his service days. That's what I was going to say, bravery. I'm sure, but I know this uniform's reputation. You were also wondering if I got these for raping women or killing babies. No, I really wasn't. I was just asking. Honor is everything to me. Whoa, sounds like you're about to open the gates of conversation. This man will literally talk your ear off if you let him wander off to memory lane. So what did you get the medals for? Hey, if he ends up killing 3 hours, I can go do that other thing. For doing my duty in the heart of battle, for looking my mortality in the eye when men like Gaston here hid behind the bushes and shot themselves. He saved some modest princeling who foolishly strolled into the front lines in his gown of velvet and gold. Saved a princeling. It was on the first month of the revolution here in the Ravishal. Unrest was spreading like wildfire. Marauders had taken most of the Quran and were getting really ambitious. King Frizel thought he could end it all in one decisive stroke. Send his cousin Drissant to put an end to the unrest, and alas, young Drissant was all piss and no vinegar, wearing a tunic of purple velvet and a cockatoo feathers to battle. Even his rifle was gold-plated, shone from 5 clicks away. Can you imagine the asininity? Purple velvet tunic? That isn't exactly camo. To keep the long and bloody story short, Drissant marched against the partisans of Quran, and when I say marched, you mean made us walk into captured enemy territory, single fire, like toy soldiers, while he rode in front on his giant red stallion. The rebels were smart. They let us come real close before opening fire. Suffice to say, it was a carnage. It must have been a bloodbath. I got shot in the left shoulder and went down, just a flesh wound, but as I turned over, the prince fell into the mud next to me. He was missing his lower jaw. Then his horse, driven mad by the noise and smell of gunpowder, stepped on my leg and shattered my knee. Hang on to the story. Veterans get sentimental after such retellings. This might yield something useful. Okay, then what did you do? I grabbed my sidearm and shot the beast in the head, then everything went black. Captain Arnaud, Le Fleu des Chevaux, the bane of horses. When I came to, it was all over. It was just me and the jawless Drissant gurgling the blood-soaked mud right next to me. The dink had taken numerous flesh wounds and lost a lot of blood, but despite missing his jaw, he seemed hesitant to die, tougher than he looked, that one. Ha! This would never happen to Johnny Lawjaw. Right. So I grabbed the prick and started crawling, kept going to the 59th Cavalry, picked us up. Through some miracle, we both survived. I'm the jawless freak convinced Frizel to give me a medal for not leaving him to die in his own blood, piss, and shit. Yay, level up! He was the commanding officer and I was on duty, just doing my job. Shouldn't hand out medals for that. 13 months later, I received the Sun for Distinguished Service. It's not worth mentioning. You sense he's downplaying it. He did a lot more than his duty, more than anyone's duty. It's in his spine, his billowing breast, his untarnished self-worth. Sounds like you're being modest, Rene. The old carbineer stands quietly like a statue, his features motionless. What Monsignor Modiste is not telling you is that he crawled over 7 kilometers before the cavalrymen found him in Drissant. 2 days later, that was. And that was while crawling with a half-dead prince on his back. He still managed to murder 3 rebels on his way. Is that pride in his voice? It's deep down, but maybe it's unbeknownst to the man himself. It's there. Hold on, you're just a little bit proud of Rene's heroics, aren't you? Sorry, officer, but you're reading me all wrong. I'm a man of peace, and these kind of bloody heroics are only impressive to men like Rene himself, certainly not to me. How did you find the story? Quite impressive. It's men like Rene who made Ravishal great once. Maybe, but also bear in mind, officer, they don't hand those out for anyone with a service record. Oh no, you have to get shot repeatedly, and you have to get your hands bloody too. Really, really bloody. Do not speak of what you know nothing about. Duty is something you will never understand. Thanks for the story, Rene. Bah! Those were many such stories in the day. Many such men. True Ravishalians, men with backbone. Oh yeah, Rene, yes. Men were bigger, girls were prettier, and everyone was a fascia. Lord, bring those days back again if you can. I'm not getting into this with you again. Officer, was there anything else? You should try to come up with a heroic story of your own. Impress the old soldier. Fuck it. Drat! It's clear you like the hard stuff, brother. The what? Sounds like my stomach is growling. Evening, folks. The time has come to take the vows. Vows? The vows of blood and flesh. What is my lower intestine going on about? Lower intestine? The term is metabolic and circulatory system. Okay, but what's the hard stuff? Fascism, brother. What is fascism, though? Many things, but it's mostly about trusting your gut. Who does your gut tell you about the source of Ravishal's problems? I thought you were my circulatory system. Quit stalling, brother. We're talking about the weakest, worst, most insane thing, the weak link. Leftist academicians? Yes, them, but also women. What the fuck? Woman, men of woe, you don't like them. They're insane. They're idiots. You need to scrub out the world with rubbing alcohol. Women need to go back to the fucking kitchen. Am I having some kind of stomach seizure? Stomach truth. You're having a stomach truth. Why am I getting this? Because you've said the hard things that others won't say. The good things. You've said them many times. Fascism sounds so bad, though. What if we called it something else, like, traditionalism? Okay, yes, let's call it that. Good thinking. That sounds much better. Traditionalism. You like the sound of that. Okay, stomach, I've made up my mind about fascism. Absolutely not. I'm not going to be played by an upset stomach. There's a slow, painful growl somewhere in your intestines, knocking your alcohol-engorged liver. It is one of betrayal and disappointment. That's fun. Oh, I got a message.
Hello again. How can I help you?
Alright. Finally, we can listen to this fucking thing. Let's see. That was a noise. You know what, son? That's very true. This isn't Ravishal, a man's voice says. A fucking village. I can almost see the elephants. Another loud screech, some kind of machinery. The harbor. That's the sound of the crane. More static. When this shit's done, I'm gonna tear that place up. Soldier of the apocalypse. I'll kill shit. Dogs and chickens too. Gonna run a room. Cordy. A real nice one. The part is unintelligible. I don't give a shit. I'm fucking done. I'm done mentally. I'll fucking do them all in. Rape that disco cunt on the counter. You know, the dancer whore upstairs. Do it La Chamin style. Never did get the taste out of my mouth. What was that? What do you think? It seemed authentic enough, probably recorded off the shortwave, then edited to seem more incriminating. He also sounded inebriated. Still, that's his look of suspicion. There's more going on here than we know. Who's Cordy? Cordy would be about short for Courtner. One of the other mercenaries, the one he was talking to, probably the mountain of the harbor, Mr. Right to Work. Watch Leshmin. A village in Samaranasola, God committed war crimes. They're the kind of thing he talks about. You think he was there? Who knows? Maybe the tattoos would have an answer. We would need to know the story of this man's service. Okay, then what now? I think we got a few more questions for Classy, don't you? This seems to contradict your testimony, at least to some degree. I wonder what happens if you succeed in every single skill check. We'll do our bloody tasks. How do you cash a comically oversized check? Good question.
You missed it at show before. A gift came by, completely fucked a tree to pieces.
He fucked the tree up. Fucked it good. It was porno.
By the way, kipped is a racial slur. He broke the greenhouse. Total retards use language like that. Congratulations, Kuno. You made yourself a retard. He fucked the tree to pieces. All right, we gotta go around. Well, buddy, you've opened it. No need to go inside. That would be rude. Only curiosity could account for this stepping over the threshold. Maybe there's treasure in there. A white alligator. A fountain of quicksilver. Nah. Playing nice with people sucks, but I have to do it. Let's see. Well, it's done. Mr. Measurehead has done a good job, and nothing is too broken or compromised. The victim is ready for a field autopsy. A field autopsy? Yes. He covers his nose and lists. 1. Investigation of the scene. 2. Initial investigation of the victim. 3. Field autopsy. 4. Transportation of the body to the morgue. We're on number 3. The fuck are they on about? Cop's gonna cut his shit up. Don't we have someone else for this? A doctor? No, you and I are detectives. The honorary rank of detective signifies our ability to handle the entire incident chain from 1 to 4. Yes, I feel like a detective. You are. Your station would not have assigned you to this if you weren't. Now. First, what exactly is a field autopsy? Come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them. Do you have another pair of gloves? Unfortunately, no. I have gardening gloves. Maybe they're enough. They're better than nothing. Tell you what, I'll perform the anatomical side while you will take notes. We'll just fill this in, right? Show him the red field autopsy form from your ledger. That's right. Tell me something, dead man. Shoot, Loomy. Try to remove the dead man's boot. I thought we decided to leave it in processing. Let's not turn it into some kind of circus. Okay, so you can sneak out of your room maybe after he's gone to sleep. Open your ledger to the field autopsy form. The man stares in silence. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists describing the condition of his skin and organs in 3 parts. Above those, an 11 field info from needs filling out first. It begins with, I, assistant. That's you. Right, Harry Dubois. Right, the gloaming. The corpse is indifferent to your scribbling, just like there. The box says coroner's case number. KK57 followed by his date and the time of arrival. He's indexed the case after himself, not you. That's because he doesn't want to bring up the messy question of your initials. Shouldn't we file the coroner's case under me? Technically, I arrived at the scene before you. And what would that make the alphanumerics? I have no idea. I do. Next. Name. We've heard a nom de guerre, Lully. It's better than nothing. What's next? Date of birth. Nod. NA. 5. Age. Roughly 50. Try 40. Try 40. The damage is so extensive, it's better to err on the young side. I'm going to write 42. You know, on 6. Race. Mondial. Write it down. The pudgy mess of curdled meat looks neither mondial nor anything other. Sex. Fucky. Male. Pig's gonna have sex? Right, fucky. Nor does he look male with his pregnant belly and indistinguishable face. We're still gonna go with March 4th, 51. Now, what else? Body identified by is non-applicable. Case number is the same as the coroner's case. Evidence of treatment? None. At least not after the initial examination. What exactly is treatment? Interfering with the body's position or wounds post-mortem? How did you not know that? Aren't you a cop? You're leaving a weak impression here. Say something sure-headed. Don't overdo it. It's okay to be unsure. I agree. Lividity pointed to a lynching. Then again, by the right lividity is easy to produce if you know what you're doing. Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture as cessations of the breath, ecclesiastical, and religious in nature. Hold out from pre-Doloran burial rites. It takes him 2 seconds to perform it. Then, somewhere in Jamrock, a small woodshed behind the road, Nick Feuerbach puts his hand to the chest of a small corpse, no larger than a monkey. It's raining. There's darkness in the shed. Elsewhere yet, an obese female sits in a wicker chair, silhouette ball-like against the window, outside Grand Coron. The day is turning dim for Mac Torson, hand extended as he approached to make sure she is dead more than anything else. And all across Jamrock, 42 deceased persons are found today, 42 stations of breath. We should start the post-mortem. The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on its chest, is no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. The thicket of boxes and lists on red copy paper tries to answer why. External examination summary. Clothes. The deceased wore armored boots and white briefs. Make the briefs is Barbadine. Let's see. See, it's happening. Barbadine, yes, inexpensive. Size M, color white. The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting something more lurid. The rest of the clothes have been removed post-mortem in order to get the victim's ceramic armor. Officers are in search of the missing pieces. Removal of the boots is left for processing. It would be clever of you to omit the boots altogether, sire, if you were to keep them for yourself as you ought to. You deserve them more than anyone else. Write it down. I'm too honest for my own fucking good. The boot has a serial number. The line between the plates are in the shape of alphanumerical. The number is purposely concealed by the design. Tattoos. The upper torso is covered in a single continuous tattoo resembling a national pattern. It reaches from right shoulder to heart. The ink is blue and white. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings to be added to the case file as document AI. The photo is taken on the scene using a Tri-Gap Mini. The deceased has a cargo lashing belt around his neck tied with a hangman's knot. Color, yellow, length 3 meters. There's a buckle on the other end. He produces a measuring tape, well-nourished, athletically built, measuring 180 meters. It's generally consistent with age 42. Preservation is good, ambient temperature below freezing. Body hair is light brown, distribution is consistent with age. The deceased had male pattern baldness, hair is combed back short. Touch the corpse's hair before moving on. His hair feels wet, soaked with rain, cold to touch, not that different from a living person after a swim. Stroke his hair gently. The stench is suffocating. Strands of dark brown hair start sticking to your hand like thread off a rag doll's head. Keep petting him. There, dead man. You were once someone's child. It's all over there now. It's all over now. Keep petting him. There, baby. That was some sick shit. Kim. Lividity is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contrusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs, consistent with the stones thrown low velocity. Fucking low velocity, chink chonk. You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking max. Talking shit about Kuno's velocity. The lieutenant pays no heed. In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest, consistent with predation. Write it down, but amend for high velocity. Ligature marks. This stench is horrid. After a while, it's obvious the material cannot be cut. The steel wiring, there's too much of it. We need to remove the belt so we can get to the ligature marks. You get just the right tool for that, the chain cutters. Oh yeah, I'm prepared. The hanged man lets out a joyous little bubble of rot from his nose. Good thing we got these. Always good to think ahead. Now, we need to cut the belt to see the ligature marks. Carefully with as much precision as you can. See, my pig is gonna fuck his head off. No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck. Look for a good spot to cut. The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference, swelling over the neck like white bread from yeast. Oh, thank God. After some deliberation, you sink the cutters into the knot tying the belt together. You squeeze the rubber handles together, sweat forming on your brow. Snap! The cut is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead man's neck and the dark red ligature marks around it. The lieutenant leans closer, running his finger along the dark red groove until there's a gap. The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is at the back of the neck. Hemorrhaging is observed at the skin above and below. The mark is well pronounced, persistent with a drop of 1 or 1.5 meters. Write it down. Chest is intact, normal contour, abdomen is protuberant, pelvis intact, genitalia. Now, it's gonna happen, see? I fucking knew it. This is clearly what they've been waiting for. Ever since the autopsy began, the lieutenant is trying to make it as boring as possible. Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury. Inspect the genitals. The dead man's penis is average size, congested from the downward collection of blood. The testicles are uneven in length, hanging underneath. The genitalia is greenish. Marbling is present around the crotch. Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are attacked, but asymmetrical. There are combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip. In addition, I see smaller residual scars too numerous to count, covering about 30% of his skin. From wounds sustained over 2, maybe more decades, dispersal and accumulation indicates long and active combat duty. This scarring is extensive, way more than the law officials. We have a real museum here of battles and wars. Last item, hands. He takes the man's hand, right hand, and moves on to the other hand. Pick up the hand. His flesh is cold, icy. Pleased to meet you. Where are you from, and what's your name? My name is... I'm only fucking with you. I know where you're from Cappadocia, and your name is Kobo. What can I do for you, Kobo de Cappadocia? It's good to hold your hand. Did you like it when I stroked your hair? I did, Kobo, I did. Reminded me of when I was just a small boy before this happened to my face and body. You did me a kindness there. We should do this more often. Be close like this, I mean. Hands are clean. No sign of injury from struggling. Were we expecting any? I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Honestly, the stench is making it hard for me to think at the moment. Whew. It's not enough. He buries his face in the sleeve of his jacket. You're a muffled boy. That's all for the external. Well done. What's next? Internal examination summary. Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything on the man's central nervous system? Of course there's a moral to be drawn from it. A moral to this story. If I may add the moral to this story, what would that be? The dead man looks too, with barely contained excitement to hear the moral of his story. The brain is very vulnerable to the compromises of its blood supply. The lieutenant grins. I think that may well be the moral of every story, officer. All right, N.A. Good. Musculoskeletal purge fluid is coming from the mouth. He gets close to the mouth hole, his eyes squinting from the stench. Not injury-related, eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone, let's see. With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat and begins to massage it gently. A rotting smell erupts from the mouth. Purge fluid runs down his lips, black and viscous. Yeah, jack that fucker off. The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact, unremarkable. Back hunched, as if in prayer, he begins to pry open the dead man's jaws. Respiratory system. He starts to exert more force. Both hands are used. Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen, hemorrhaging presence. From here, it looks as though the clown-faced man is screaming. The tendons of his jaw are torn apart. Hyoid ripped from the force of the lieutenant's hands. Look inside the dead man's mouth. No scream, just a sigh of relief rises from the darkness. It's humid here, sickly sweet air, unlike anything living. You feel like you're about to throw up again. Straight into that mouth of his. Look deeper inside. Damaged health 1. Uh-oh. It's hard. Once you taste stomach acid in the back of your throat, a contraction, your front throat pumps a little something from your stomach and into your mouth. You're forced to swallow. Just keep looking. Inside, you see darkness, just a mess of meat and darkness. There are ancient mysteries down there, Kobo. Ask me later. The lieutenant lets go of the jaws. The mouth snaps shut. Hemorrhaging pressure in the mucus. hepatobiliary NA. Why, don't we have anything? He looks at the corpse's stomach with a mixture of tiredness and disgust. Are you a No, I don't think so. Neither am I. And that's it? That's it. Right, NA. Same for toxicology and serology. Both? Unless you have untapped reservoir of knowledge, that the completionist in me wonders if there's something we could still do. Like a toxicology screening? At this stage, I doubt processing will find anything, even if he was brimming with cocaine, but still you should add a request. Write NA and add toxicology request. Cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood is gathered in the hands, feet, and neck. Hypostasis is visually consistent with a hanging. GI. He breathes a sigh of approaching relief. This is the last field on the list. He looks around to the ground. The pool of feces there. This will do. Then he touches the corpse's lower abdomen briefly and says, digestible, semi-solid food in stomach, voila. Write it down, omit the voila. What's next on the list? Descriptions of injuries. Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 fields. Leave a 4th one, too. What about the injuries we inflicted? Oh, so we inflicted them? Okay, I inflicted. Okay, so there's a spin-stabilized munition from a KG muzzleloader lodged in his lung. I don't think we should mention that. Better not to muddy the waters. But isn't that sloppy? Be pedantic if you like. It doesn't matter. No one else is going to investigate the man's murder, and if they do, such details would only confuse them. See, these pigs are absolutely fucking corrupt. Why don't you fuck them if you love them so much? Now, injuries. Bite marks. Head, chest, and scalp. Predation by birds has caused damage to the body. Odontologist doesn't need to be consulted. In your opinion, officer? Non-fatal post-mortem. Agreed. Next injury. Contusions. So the scalp blades from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. Perpetrator on the scene has confessed to causing it post-mortem. At maximum velocity, fucko. Has confessed to causing it at maximum velocity. Write it down. Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest where the countless stones hit the dead man. Beneath the descriptions of injuries, 2 boxes. Non-fatal, post-mortem. Right next. What's the 4th figure for? Nothing, just in case. Ligature marks. A dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. The hyoid bone is fractured, the cervical column intact. I see hemorrhaging in the skin down and below. Depth of the mark, no clawing on the neck. Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side, awaiting your judgment. The ring around his neck is visible. Opinion. Fatal injury. That's it. He cracks an uneasy smile. We've established the cause of death. It's not much and it leaves much to be questioned, but it is a start. Now let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over. Fine, how did it go? Well, we established probable cause of death. Some would say that's a goal. We also requested a toxicology screening. That was thorough. The results should arrive in a couple of weeks. If we're lucky, I would not hold my breath. What then? What else? We were thorough with the list of injuries, too. We described them all in detail. What's there to say? Given the circumstances, it was a professional field autopsy. What now? I need a copy of that autopsy form. I will drive him to Faubourg. Rip off a copy of the autopsy. Let's see. He's thinking, did I miss something? You tilt your head, also looking at the corpse. Aww. Perception, legendary. You can't escape the feeling there are more secrets concealed in the flesh before us. I've got a gut feeling there's more to this corpse. Okay, well, we're in liver mortis here. It's disintegrating. We need to refrigerate the body if we want to conduct another experimentation, and we do it fast. It would have to be the industrial. Let's start by acting Garte and the Freet store. If they don't know, Kuno, but only if all else fails. Fuck you looking at, ping pong man. You want a piece of the Kuno? Want to get fucked? Only if all else fails. Kuno looks like he gets around, knows Martinet and its fridges too, probably. Or remember the buttons on the intercom over there on the side of the building next to the whirling. One was Ravishal Ice City. Perhaps it's a clue. Let's hurry then. This is one task we cannot sideline. Let's bag him and tag him. If you think so, I'm not going to object. With a little help carrying him to the building. I'm holding pen of my Kinema. I'll take it from there. There go, those beautiful enamel boots. You'll never own the full set now. May they rest in processing. What should I do in the meanwhile? Continue working here. The locals of the case or tend to your own business. I'll meet you downstairs at 7:30 sharp. This means Lieutenant Kitsuragi will leave the party until tomorrow morning. You're free to do side quests and even the main case, even though it might be more difficult. If you have nothing to do, read books or sit on the bench. Whew! That will be enough of this today. Holy shit, we got a lot done. I will not steal. Whew! Alright. Now let me just go over what we have to do. Let's see, the smoker on the balcony, 2100. Run the number on the victim's armor. Wait, didn't we do that? Call Alice back in a day for the answer. Already opened the apartment door. Or the door gonna mix. Talk to Classy. Max, Classy, find morale. Okay. Hope you enjoyed this. I have been Blind Ryan, and fuck me, does my voice hurt. Whew. Alright. Alright.